All right, a lovely morning to you out there. This is 32 FM 94.9. It's the 29th of July 2023. I'd like to welcome you to the Break of Dawn Papers Review for this Saturday. My name is Kenny Durutilu. And of course, we take a look at the major headlines coming out of the newspapers this morning. I have with me the Punch newspaper, the Nation newspaper, the Prim Times, the Guardian, Tribune, Daily Post, amongst a bunch of papers here. I will start off with the Punch newspaper this morning. Major headline: Tinubu to split education, works, housing, other ministries. That's again from the Punch newspaper. Elsewhere, it's not over yet. Fans warn Falcons. Prioritize infrastructure. Delta residents urge Deputy Governor. Will fight Nigeria like hell. Island Shiva. Anambra family rejects autopsy report. Insists daughter was killed. LP abandoned me after I sold property to support Obi. Retired colonel shot by thugs. Now, governors rush to beat 60-day deadline. Request commissioners confirmation. Labour leaders storm out of Villa meeting. Insistent strike. It's another major story from the Punch newspaper this morning. My daughter found joy in modeling after leg amputation. Mother. Some of the major stories again from the Punch. All right, over to the Nation newspaper. Sanwo-Olu reappoints Omotosho, Bayomi, Adeyoye, Wahab as commissioners. 20 ministerial nominees begin documentation ahead of screening. There's another one there. NEMA evacuates 198 Nigerians from Sudan. Now, First Lady Tinubu meets wives of former governors. Nigeria's fuel subsidy removal hurting Europe's refineries. That's according to a report from the Nation this morning. Kanu orders ECPA to stop calling for sit at home. Major talking point in the papers this morning as well. APC reschedules caucus NEC meetings for August 2-3. Elsewhere, Niger Presidential Guard names self new ruler following coup. Alleged terrorism. Court refuses Eze Ndigbo bail. All right, a couple of editorials, opinion pieces from the Nation this morning. Feeding monsters, Lagos technology and traffic management. Why not Hydra holiday? Take a look at the Nation newspaper for those and more. Over to the Prim Times now. Nnamdi Kanu writes Simon Ekpa orders him to end sit at home in Southeast. Elsewhere, federal government inaugurates committee on review of national youth policy. Numbers that define Tinubu's ministerial list is another piece from the Premium Times this morning. Profiles of President Tinubu's 28 ministerial nominees. Doctor strike disrupt activities in Abuja, Lagos hospitals. Reps direct NNPC Limited to suspend OVH acquisition probe deal. World Hepatitis Day 2023. Despite vaccine availability, disease remains threat to Nigeria. More stories. Asari Dokubo threatens trouble against Nigerian governor. Subsidy removal. Scheduled federal government Labour meeting fails to hold. Nigerian military neutralizes 59 terrorists, apprehends 88 criminals. That's coming from the DHQ. All right, more stories from the Premium Times. November polls. INEC meets heads of security agencies, urges action against violence. Nigerian breweries plunges to record half-year loss amid forex reforms. Sanwo-Olu names 39 commissioner nominees. Tinubu affirms readiness to support Google to create 1 million digital jobs in Nigeria. Shettima at Russia-Africa Summit says Nigeria at New Dawn repositioned for greatness. More stories from Premium Times now. Nigerian airport security officials arrest 3 suspects over alleged theft. Police speak on lady found dead in Anambra. Workers at Nigerian universities protest after 4 years without salaries. Nigerian government restates determination to revive ALSCON. And lastly, from the Premium Times now, Tinubu to Nigerian youth: be patient, tough economic policies for a better future. All right, over to the Daily Post newspaper now. Its failure to accept previous position after serving 8 years as governor. That's coming from Bwala. Nnamdi Kanu orders Simon Ekpa to end sit at home in Southeast. Tinubu, Google commit to plan to create 1 million jobs for Nigerians. Niger coup. President Tinubu hosts ECOWAS special meeting. Screening of ministerial nominees will be thorough. Senate leader assures Nigerians. Federal government announces a new date for commencement of new monthly pension. Group demands release of arrested Imo journalist Nonso Kwa. Governor Fintiri orders planting of 500,000 trees in Adamawa. It's fake. ECPA denies report of Nnamdi Kanu's alleged letter. EU threatens sanction on Niger over military coup. Subsidy. Federal government, Labour fails to hold scheduled meeting. There's another story there. Some more. They took arrows on my behalf. Governor Enna's reason for reappointing previous commissioners. All right, we'll take some stories from the Daily Trust newspaper now. Fuel subsidy removal hurting refineries in Europe. That's according to a report. The subsidy Labour leaders walk out of Aso Rock meeting, accuse federal government of deceit. Elsewhere, Shehu Sani rejects Tinubu's ministerial list, labels El-Rufai a tragedy. More stories: how businesses are shutting down due to poor power supply, cost of fuel. Buni cries out over floods. Desert encroachment. Police arrest 6 robbery suspects in Oshu. Government deploys security to Alja Ogbe Ijo over communal crisis. NAS reconsiders Peace Corps defense bills. Anger as Akpabio mocks Nigerians and nationwide hardship. Niger coup, US VP phones Tinubu, backs action to restore civil rule. Only 20 textile companies operational in Nigeria. Senator Jibrin meets Michelle Aluze, Super Falcons defender who doubles as scientist. You're interested in that one is in the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. More stories here. How businesses are shutting down due to poor power supply. Already took that one. National Assembly bloated committees. Overlapping functions worry experts. NPFL abridged season looms as subsidy removal bites harder. Ogun plans to host and win 2024 National Sports Festival. All right, headlines from the Guardian newspaper. ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup qualifiers is one there. NFF officials fault Gusal's defense of Sanusi's 10,000 naira monthly salary. Subsidy removal deadlock as Labour federal government fail to meet over lack of forum. Working from home offers opportunities for mothers for personal, professional life. That's from the Guardian Woman section of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Why I want to be NIPR president. Nkechi Ali Balogun. Other stories: group trains Abia youths on community healthcare delivery. Nigeria willing to support Google to create 1 million jobs, says Tinubu. All right, before we take a look at another paper, Sonlu sends commissioner nominees to Lagos Assembly. Church urges youths, women to participate actively in politics. Afeni Ferry carpets federal government over suffocating economy. And lastly, from The Guardian, federal government targets 95% digital literacy by 2030. All right, we'll do headlines from the Nigerian Tribune now. We'll support Google to create 1 million jobs in Nigeria. Tinubu, African peace attainment requires leadership beyond arrangements. That's according to Thabo Mbeki. Stop using police emergency numbers to obtain loans. FCTCP. Fuel subsidy only meant for fuel elites. We can't afford it. Tinubu and Kanu ends all sit at home. One's ECPA. Some of the stories out of the papers this morning. We'll delve into the analysis now, and of course, to do that with me this morning is Austin Udumo. Good morning, Austin.
Yeah, Kenny, good morning.
Good morning, Austin. It's good to have you join us again. And let's begin with the Labour leaders and their meeting with the federal government yesterday. We understand that one. They staged a walkout, according to reports from the Punch and a bunch of papers this morning. They said that the meeting did not form a quorum, and that's why one of the reasons why they walked out, apparently signifying that lack of seriousness from the federal government, according to them. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, I think it's not too good, but the Labour have to make themselves adequately available for a meeting, a scheduled meeting for that matter. And the federal government delegation could not meet up. Of course, we have not been able to get substantial reason why that was so. But I think it's a work in progress. The federal government is making frantic effort to ensure that the strike or the protest scheduled for Wednesday next week is averted. Whichever the case, the grasp of the labor union in the country for now is that the federal government is reneging or is not fast-tracking the process of palliative because they are not even against hike in pump price as a result of removal of subsidy any longer. I think what the Labour is basically trying to sort out with the government now is the issue of palliative, which I feel it is very, very important because the pain as a result of the removal of subsidy and the upwards, almost another round of upward review of pump price is becoming more excruciating. Right. The pain is driving a lot of Nigeria economically and financially crazy because it is no longer sustainable except you have some other alternative that you can actually fall back to. That's the truth of the matter. We agree that subsidy payment, continual payment of subsidy was no longer sustainable for the economy of the nation as a government. However, the removal of subsidy and the attendant increase in pump price is becoming more unbearable and no longer sustainable for various household economy across the country. People are really feeling the heat. People are really suffering. And the Nigerian Labour Congress is trying to push it to the government that, of course, you promised removal of subsidy. At our last meeting, you also promised palliative. What is the modality for the palliative? It is dragging and it is delaying. So we want to have a way that the government can cushion the effect. And we also want to have value for money. Removal of subsidy, for example, means more money for the government, right, for the 3 tiers of government. And that has beginning to show. But we must get value for money. We don't want things to be business as usual. If you remove subsidy on one hand, there must be something that Nigerians should fall back on, something enduring, something long-lasting, not just a meager amount of 8,000 that the federal government has earmarked for household. So let's see whether before the end of today, tomorrow, or probably before the weekend runs out, the government and the labor, they will meet, get to a level of consensus,
Right.
and at the end of the day, avert that protest. Because, for example, that protest could set us back as a country. It might not also be any gain for the common man in the country. So whatever the government had to do, what we need at this time is sincere commitment on the part of government. Because, for example, if I spend like 10,000 to fill my car for a week, and now I have to spend around 30,000, there must be something on the flip side to cushion that effect, because my income has not increased, my own personal economy has not increased. So a lot of things will happen. So the government had to act as a matter of national importance.
All right. Some people would say that that the lack of a quorum, as it is, as it was put by the NLC there, at that meeting, shows a lack of commitment in the federal government having to resolve this situation. What do you make of that? I mean, you are supposed to have three subcommittees, I believe, at a particular meeting, and you have like one or two show up. That
Yes,
doesn't portray some seriousness and urgency in solving the situation.
yes, I think the government must make a U-turn. They must be more committed and be more responsible. It's a sign of unseriousness and insensitivity for there to be a scheduled meeting and delegation on the government side failed to show up. Of course, they need to also come up to tell us the reason why that has to be, and why no prior information to the other side. The meeting could have probably be rescheduled rather than people not showing up for the meeting. We can't conclude hastily that they deliberately did that, because if you look at the pattern of this government, I think so far they have been very engaging with the people, especially the labor movement. So we want to see reason, and they must also assure us that that will not happen again. That the meeting will not hold, or a meeting could not hold, is not a crime. But then there should have been prior information rather than allowing the other party to just come for such a meeting and be stranded. You could have sent out a memo to them and say, oh, for so and so reason, we want to beg to shift this particular meeting to a later and a more convenient date. And there would have been something like a meeting at all,
Right.
rather than allowing it to be on record that the other party came for a meeting and government side, they were not ready. It's really uncalled for. So the federal government should do more. The delegation of the federal government should do more. And the primary purpose of all of this engagement should quickly, as a matter of urgency, produce results, something that we can see. We can't continue to dilly-dally. The president continue to appeal for more time. More time for what? When? Are we going to wait till eternity?
Right.
The government didn't talk about more time before the subsidy could be removed. A lot of people feel that the government should have waited a little for subsidy to be removed. Of course, we also understand the dynamics. According to various sources and reports, subsidy provision was made till half of the year. Just budgetary provision on paper, no financial provision was made. We understand that. But now that you have summoned the political will and courage to remove it just the first hour in office, you should also step up the game by ensuring that you roll out palliative, something that can serve as a stopgap measure for the people, just to ameliorate the suffering and the pain of the people. Like I will say this morning, Kenny, people are really suffering.
Right.
The subsidy removal and the hike in price is really excruciating. That's just the truth. People are suffering. Like the popular saying in Yoruba, that any to kan lo mo. But this particular thing, that at times if it does not affect you, you may not know the impact. But the way things are is affecting more people, and the pain is becoming more severe and more unbearable for the people.
All right, I can see this report here from the Punch newspaper, and it's an interesting one. CSOs urge federal government to reverse fuel price hike. Now they're calling for subsidy removal. That for me seems like a ship that has sailed. They have a bunch of other things they want the federal government to do. Amongst them, rehabilitation of refineries, introducing affordable transportation, palliatives, and a bunch of other things. But of course, the talk about fuel price and reversing the fuel subsidy, that looks like the ship that has sailed, hasn't it?
Yes, that's the way I look at it too. That generally could set the country back because reversal of the subsidy removal implies that we are going to go back to the era where we service the subsidy regime with nothing less than 1 trillion every month. That is not sustainable for our economy. Let's look for a way to hold the government accountable in other areas, like the area of affordable mass transit. For example, that is what the people need right now. I keep saying this, transportation is one of the areas that money leaves the hands of the common man. Because whether you like it or not, you must go out for your daily activity.
Right.
Let's work on area of mass transit. Let's work on area of electricity. Let's work on area of our road. Let's partner with various private sector organizations in the country to at least review upward the salary and allowances of their employee so as to make up and cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. Because the reason why I don't want us to go back on the issue of subsidy is that if you understand the tenet of the Petroleum Industry Act very critically, you discover that the day that bill became a law,
Right.
they have technically subsidy has been removed. That's the truth. Because the PIA, what it seek to achieve was to unbundle the petroleum sector. So immediately that was signed into law. Technically, subsidy has been removed because for you to bring the investor into that particular sector of the economy, which is very key sector, it shows that you have to allow market forces to determine something so that when investor comes in, they will get value for their money and get return on their investment. So I think the government really need to act fast on the area of subsidy because for like 1 month, it look as if Nigerians have gone beyond whether subsidy should be removed or not. We were already adjusting and coping until the latest upward review of the pump price from 500 naira, some were selling 510,
Right.
now to 617. That is unbearable, which means that as the price of crude goes up in the international market, the price will also be adjusting itself locally. Nobody is against that, but the government really need to cushion the effect. You can't build something on nothing. That is what we have always advised the government. We also understand that the government has to act swiftly because if the government wait further in office to deliberate or to look for possible solution to subsidy issue, of course, it might get to a level where the government will have to find it difficult to remove, just like what happened to former President Olusegun Obasanjo administration and former President Muhammadu Buhari, because they wanted to see to the possibility of facial removal of subsidy. And at the end of the day, it didn't work. They couldn't remove it because it got to a level, removing it would cause national uproar. But this government came into office, it removed the subsidy on the go. A lot of people saluted the effrontery, the courage and the political will of the government. But what we are talking about now is how to cushion the effect. I don't think it makes any sense for the government to continue to appeal to the people to make necessary sacrifice when you see government officials, newly elected public office holder living in their opulence, living recklessly, just as usual. Something must change. If you want the common man to make sacrifice, those in political office too should also make sacrifice. Nothing has changed about the lifestyle of political office holder in the country. I think that's the area the government had to work on. We must really work on the cost of governance. You can't tell the common man who are feeling the heat and the pain to continue to make sacrifice for a better tomorrow, and at the end of the day, those in government, they live a larger than life attitude. Of course, we are all hoping and praying for a better tomorrow, but you must convince us that there is indeed a better tomorrow in the offing. That is what Nigerians want for this government. For me, it is not about reversal of the pump price in form of jettisoning the removal of subsidy idea. Right. It is about what does the government have to offer the people. You must take us from the level where we are now to a post-subsidy removal level. That is the level where electricity will begin to improve. Of course, that will show that people don't have to buy fuel to power their generator, to generate their power and what have you. So I feel so strongly that the government must show us, they must show enough sincerity, they must show enough commitment. Because the argument out there is that, oh, they have removed it, that is the way they have always done. This government is praying for more time. Of course, they are just 2 months in office. I agree. But then you must set the record straight. You must show and prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are not like the previous government that will promise one thing and do the other thing. So the government really need to act fast as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, let's take another story now. Nnamdi Kanu writes Simon Ekpa orders him to end sit at home in Southeast. It's the headline out of the Premium Times. Now, we have other reports and other papers saying that that particular letter is actually a fake, and that's according to the man himself, Simon Ekpa, saying that the letter was a fake and all of that. What do you make of the current situation as regards IPOB and the sit-at-home? Your take of all of the recent happenings as regarding that?
Yes, Nnamdi Kanu purportedly wrote the letter to Simon Ekpa, a self-acclaimed disciple of his, through his counsel, that the sit-at-home has become very senseless and needless, especially to business and corporate coexistence of the eastern parts of the country. We must look at that very critically. The whole idea of a sit-at-home by mainstream IPOB when Nnamdi Kanu was extradited back into this country was to do a kind of solidarity with him, that, on the day of his arraignment, people will lock down or sit at home to just identify with him. Now, we must understand what Nnamdi Kanu stands for: liberation and emancipation and justice for his people. And when you are talking about that, I think it makes no sense really to continue to shut down businesses of the people, destroy the means of livelihood of the people for a needless sit-at-home. There was a time Simon Ekpa even declared a week-long sit-at-home. How do you want the people to cope? Do you kill the people you are trying to liberate? Of course, no. So Nnamdi Kanu has written this letter that we don't need this at this time. This idea of attacking political leaders in the Southeast cannot help matter, because I am aware that some leaders of thought from the eastern part of the country are also trying to engage with the president of the country to see a possible solution and resolution to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, the case is in court. The president cannot release him by fiat. But then, we also have some provisions in the law that can make the Attorney General of the Federation to withdraw such charges against him and opt for a political solution.
Right.
But as it stands right now, Simon Ekpa is making some of these options very difficult, because you can't begin to beg for somebody to be released and you are taking arm against the government on the other hand. So Simon Ekpa is saying this letter is fake. We want him to allow logic and common sense to prevail. He is out of the country. If he so much believes in the justice for people of the Southeast, he should come back to Nigeria. Let him come and also sit at home for those days, rather than staying outside the country,
Right.
enjoying best facilities in the country, and then causing trouble in your own home country. So Nnamdi Kanu has written, let's see whether Simon Ekpa this time around will have to obey the leader he claimed to be his disciple. So let's see how it goes.
All right, we open the phone lines in a moment, but before we do that, Austin, I'd like to get your thoughts on the politics in the APC now, especially as regards Ganduje seeking Adamu's support on APC chairmanship. bid. We also hear that a bunch of people are supporting him. Abacha's former aide, the Middle Belt elders, among some of the people who are actually backing him in this bid. Your thoughts?
Yes, Ganduje is making every effort to become the APC national chairman. Of course, at least in the interim, like an acting chairman before they will organize their convention. Well, Ganduje saw the handwriting of the wall that the president may not appoint him as cabinet minister. Now, my grounds is that those things that could make the president not to appoint Ganduje as a cabinet minister, there are also available factors that could make him not to get the slot of the chairmanship of the party, because Ganduje does not want to be idle under this administration. He wants to get something for himself at all costs, and we know some of the cases and allegations hanging upon him. Of course, he still needs to prove himself. That's the issue. Let me just look at it. For example, if he now becomes the APC national chairman,
Right.
when it is time for him to appear before a panel on the allegation of corruption, especially the kickback, the dollar saga against him in Kano, won't it amount to a situation where a national party of a party will have to appear before an anti-graft agency? Right. This is what we are talking about. For me, I think for now, Ganduje should just be allowed to clear himself. Let him clear himself of this corruption allegation against him. Let him prove beyond reasonable doubt that this dollar bundle that we saw him putting inside his Babariga, let him even tell us that there are papers. Let him even tell us that the video is doctored or photoshopped. That is what we want to hear. So for me, I think it makes no sense to appear people that are visibly clear that they have corruption allegation with damning evidence against them, rewarding them with position. Because if you do that, it do not make sense at all. Because the national chairman of a party, a ruling party for the example, the party of the president, going to appear before an anti-graft committee, will you now call that a witch hunt or what? As at the time he will be doing that, what will happen to his executive position as the party chairman? So the APC really need to watch it. The era of Omishore should be gone. Omishore that has a lot of questions to answer. Right. He has a lot of things hanging upon him. And all of a sudden, APC just rewarded him with the office of National Secretary of the party. So this is another time to get it right. And a lot of people are also of the opinion that it is the turn of the North Central to actually produce the party chairman for the APC. Since the party chairman that just resigned is from the North Central, right, another candidate should emerge from the North Central. I think that is just about fairness.
Okay, Austin, talking about the nonchalance of, some of these politicians, especially ones with allegations of, corruption hanging over their head, they're nonchalant in still wanting to contest or assume positions of office in government. What's it going to take for us to change that culture where people just, who have allegations hanging over their head, still have that confidence to go out there and say, yes, I still want to hold positions? Because in other climes, you have the slightest allegations of corruption hanging over your head, you resign. That's how it works. What would it take to actually get to that place where, we have that sort of mindset as regards governance?
Yes, I think it's a very bad political culture in Nigeria. It's a very bad one that we have a situation where people will be having charges against them, whether rightly or wrongly, and they will seek office. They want to hold office. It's a culture of impunity that must stop, right from Mr. President. Even our president is serving some cases. Right. Issues to answer, issue of certificate, issue of forgery, issue of fake or what have you. Some of them can just be trump up charges or allegation. But I feel that when there are individuals who are having one area of doubt or the other in terms of their character and their integrity, I feel it is not the best time to reward them with political office whatsoever. This continues to reoccur. We have seen people in the past who are having corruption allegations, they are having cases with the FCC, and the government is rewarding them with ministerial appointment. How do you want them to continue their case? How do you want, you now have a sitting senator going to prison? Why should he be voted into office in the first instance? It's a culture of impunity that I think we can change. For those that are having allegation hanging on them, I think the honorable thing to be done is to go and clear themselves.
Right.
And once they are given clean bill of health, of course, whatever position they want to assume, they can assume. We have sitting governors today who are visitors to EFCC. We have people today who are senators who are having their case files are with EFCC. Some are ministers, they have cases with EFCC. Where do you go from there? Does it mean that these are the only best people in the country? So we have to look at this issue very critically. The government must look for a way to stop this right from the top, because the change should begin with us, and leadership is by example. It does not make sense for a country where we have brilliant mind here and there. Nigeria is the only country that you see a candidate A having a clean record. People will say, no, we don't want somebody with a clean record. They will go for candidate B who have a controversial record or a lot of baggages. So these are issues that we have to contend with. So for the issue of Ganduje, it's an opportunity for the APC to get it right once again. After us, Adamu that just resigned did not contest at that time. All of a sudden, maybe a few hours to their convention, the president just prevailed on Adamu to come and take up the chairmanship position. There were people that were contesting during that time, and these people were still alive. One of them can be picked. We have some of them who do not have a lot of question to answer. Right. So the idea of rewarding those with integrity issue with a political office, I think it's a culture that we just have to depart from. Right. If we want people to take us seriously, either in the country or in the Committee of Nations.
Okay, we open the phone lines now. 0705 5000 949. 0809 7000 949. Again, 0809 7000 949 and 0705 0705 5000 949. I beg your pardon. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
This is Sola from Iwood.
All right.
The president said we should be patient. He used to say that for 8 years, when Buhari was there, that we should be patient. Buhari is doing something, that was doing something. And what did we get out? When he came in May 29, why did he remove the subsidy? Even when the last government said he has paid up to June, we are now saying we are now hearing paperwork. Why is that paperwork just up to May? Why not to June? The fuel was not even at just 200 to 250, 300, but to 500. Now it's 650. The bag of rice is now 45,000 naira. And we are telling us palliative. The palliative reduce the price of bag of rice. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 0705 5000 949. We're live on Facebook as well, also live on YouTube. There you can join us at 32FM 949 Ibadan. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm John Njok. Thank you this morning. Yes, we are correct and have told my people and indeed Nigerians that the president cannot unilaterally release Nnamdi Kanu. The release can only come from the Attorney General dispensation, while he will rely on Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution and amended. That section confers enormous power on the EGF to institute and discontinue criminal proceeding against anybody, while subsection 3 quickly as in exercising such power, the AGF must ensure that such discontinuance is for public interest and the interest of justice. That is what that section says. And so, for Ganduje, I think Ganduje emerging, but it will be unfortunate if he emerges as the chairman of the OPC. Why some people are calling Ojus Okadi a senator, it is. Even when court to say he should be retried. Don't interrupt with my name. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll take another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Munir. I'm calling from New York. I agree to, I guess, well, I want to say this. I think the man has the right. The man, Finland has the right, or I should say the people in the middle, Sanchez, has the right to close the shop. If you want to do that in solidarity with Nazi Namdekano, they have the right to do that. It is responsibility of the government to protect them. Some people, some of them are afraid they don't want to come up. So it's unlawful against the culture of the country for the government to come out and tell people not to close their shop. I mean, we don't do that. I mean, there's no way. We can't continue to fool ourselves. Don't want to be part of Nigeria. They should be giving a referendum whether they want to be part of Nigeria or not. So you can't tell people to just open the shop and allow them to be killed. If you want to close the shop, you have the right. What's your business? If I want to close my shop, I pay for my shop. It's my shop. It's my loss. If I don't sell, it's my loss. So what's anybody's business about that? I mean, and the letter, I don't believe Namdekan wrote that letter. I don't believe Namdekan wrote that letter. There's no way Namdekan will write that letter. All right. Have a lovely day.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I'll take another call. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, Kenny.
Yeah.
Good morning. This is Shani from Oyo. Also, good morning. We are talking in the NSC's negotiating with federal government. It's for the federal workers. What about the state governors, local government chairmen doing? We just focus on the center. We don't say anything about the state government and local government. They have the money, but they don't care about masses. Say, not that in Ibadan. Our governor has not visited them. We'll be talking about federal government. What are the state government and local government are very close to us? Have a nice time.
All right, thank you. I'll take some messages on Facebook now. Omar Bashir Abiola says, top morning to you. To cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal shouldn't be difficult for the government if our so-called leaders can work together as a team with Mr. President. The hardship is too much on the masses, and the government needs to roll out the best palliatives so far in the history of Nigeria to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal as a matter of urgency. Let the government do something about food, clothes, shelter, electricity to cushion effect on this Sunday issue. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Kenny. Good morning,
yeah.
Mr. Austin. This is John Olarewaju from Ajo. First and foremost, you read the headline of the senators and the Senate president mocking the Nigerians, especially poor Nigerians. I think this is uncalled for. And the Yoruba used to say, these people turn Nigerians to poor people, and they even mock us. Because they are the causes of the many Nigerians that have turned to poor people, and they are still mocking them. I think Nigerians need to learn from this, that these people that you are defending, they don't have anything for you upstairs. They're only there for themselves. I think Nigeria needs to wake up. Nigeria needs to wake up and see these people as they are not their friend. And even the issue of subsidy that Austin said they cannot reverse. To me, I don't think so. If Austin remember vividly, the investigation of Senator Aliyu from Sokoto, the Ninth Senate Assembly, they even summoned those major marketers. The NPC claimed that they are collecting the subsidy money. And these people refused. They refused. They said that no, they did not collect any subsidy since 2016 from NPC in 9th Assembly, and these senators still in the 10th Assembly. And they even said that even later they are sending the fuel there. Only the former president from Muhammadu Buhari 195 that they have even gained 100 naira from his. So it shows that when Mr. President Tinubu came, he's supposed to review this and investigate before he will just jump into no subsidy again. To me, I think if they did not reverse this subsidy, I did not review all these things and bring those culprits into the justice, I think we will continue lamenting like this. There won't be any solution. That is the reality. Until when they do the right thing. Thank you and good morning.
All right. Thank you. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, I'll be doing more of the calls, to stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
When the big names talk, they talk to us. Join Golabo Famous Call and her team of panelists on the podium
by 9 a.m. every Saturday for a deep dive into trending political and socio-economic issues.
Náwó dànù láìkéré.
Sporting Crystal àti ikọ̀ rẹ̀ ń pè yín.
Sọ̀wédowó lètò fáwọn tó mẹ́nu ẹ̀.
Láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ Sátidé 8 a.m.
Sọ̀wédowó ìfà fàlàfàlà.
32 FM 94.9.
All right, 0705 5949, 029 7949. The Break of Dawn paper review. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Someone is asking the governors to do something.
Your name, sir. Your name, sir.
The president, hello?
I didn't catch your name. Your name. What's your name?
It's Sola.
All right.
The president consulted them before he removed this first subsidy. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Kenny.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, Austin. Let us be frank with ourselves. All the problem we are facing in this country is lack of good representation. I am telling you, if we truly want people to enjoy duty of democracy, honestly, the legislative chambers, both federal and state, and the government need to work together with Mr. President to cushion the effect of the first subsidy removal. I can't just understand why we have been legislators. That's the big question. What are they doing? Are they not supposed to buy buses, the serious buses to their various constituencies? What stopped them from buying the serious buses or Kekemawa to their various constituencies? Let us be frank with ourselves. We're too much focusing on presidency. That is our problem. You see, on this platform, I simply design management as how to get these known true people. Who are the people? The competent ones. Are these people representing, are they competent enough to be at the various position they find themselves this today? That's the question. This is a lack of good representation in anything, my brother.
All right, thank you. Hello, Austin. You still there? Okay. Austin, let's have your reaction to some of the comments, especially this last one.
Yes, I hope so too. I think the governors need to also do something to cushion the effect. There's more money for them now. That's the truth. When you have more money as savings from the discontinuation of subsidy payment, the people should feel the money. I think the major grasp of the people is that it is only when it comes to the area of sacrifice that the federal government call on them. When it is time for boom and economic enjoyment, the people really feels the impact. Then somebody said the price of PMS can still be reversed. I didn't say it cannot be reversed. I said it will amount to a major setback. What I feel, personal opinion now, that we should do is to make the government accountable and responsible in other area to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. Right. I didn't say the price cannot be reversed. I said I don't buy the idea of reversal of price. Let the government use some of the savings to provide palliative in a way to cushion the effect. And our friend that called from the US said that those that are sitting at home in the eastern part of the country, that it is their right, that they are doing that in solidarity for Nnamdi Kanu. That is not the bone of contention. The matter is that they are not sitting at home voluntarily. They are being forcefully held captive. The unknown gunmen are killing people who comes out on such a day. That is what we are talking about. If it is about voluntary, if it is my business and I decide to sit at home, I decide not to open my shop, no police will arrest me. But the truth of the matter now is that they are forcing people to sit at home. And anybody that refuses to sit at home, whether be killed or be maimed. Then somebody also talk about federal government. Why is it federal government? It is the federal government that dictate the tune. Under our type of federalism, it is federal government that dictate the tune. They call the shot. So there has to, first of all, be negotiation at the center, and federal government is held accountable on some of these issues before you can now start looking at state, holding them accountable and what have you. So the type of our federating system in Nigeria, we have to first of all look at the federal government before we talk about the federating unit, which are the states. Somebody said it is the president that removes subsidy, not the governors. That is just the basic truth. So we can't discuss all of this without making a specific reference to the federal government. Right. Minimum wage, it is the federal government that will negotiate, because the act of the minimum wage by International Labour Organization does not recognize state as government. It only recognizes the federal government acting on behalf of the other federating unit, which is subnational. So that's the issue. So the federal government is playing a very pivotal, strategic and key role as far as this issue of subsidy regime and palliative provision is concerned.
All right, we'll take some messages on Facebook. Okediran Babatunde, I beg your pardon, says Simon Ekpa is a deceit. Let him continue to deceive his people. His people should be wise and follow the path of negotiation for Kanu to be released. All this sit at home and killings is retrogressive to the southeast because his people are suffering. The government should protect law-abiding citizens. This is another administration. They should allow reasoning to prevail. That's the message. Elsewhere, I have another one from Raji Afiza Biola. It says, good morning, Kenny. About fuel subsidy palliative, honestly, government needs to act fast in rolling out the relief program to cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy because people are suffering. God bless Nigeria, he says. 0705 5949 0809 7949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Benga Mary calling from Apata. Good morning, Mr. Austin.
All right.
Good morning, sir.
People are really suffering. I can bet it with you. Some people that I know within my street, within my area, within my area, I know that of course, those people, they are well to do. I give it to them when it comes to as a monetary something now. They come to me begging for money because they know that I go to work every blessed day. And even on my own part, I have to remove the compressor of my AC so that if my wife is driving the car, to restore, nobody will be able to use the AC. So the thing is biting hard on us. I think it's not about palliative. It's about the government coming out boldly. We need to do something that will, even if, I don't know if it's palliative or whatever, just do something that will cushion the effect. And on the issue of Samuel Ekpa, is he bigger than the government? Samuel Ekpa is just a single individual who is controlling the whole Southeast. In December last year, I was in the East, and on Monday I was supposed to go out on a business trip, and I was told that I should not go out because there is sit at home order. I said, where I came from, they don't do that. They said, if you love your life, just sit back. So I sat back at home, and I lost, only God knows, thousands of naira on that day. So I think government should take someone Ekpa. If it's in Finland, let them work with the Interpol there, and let him be flown down to Nigeria. Let's deal with him definitively. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Kenny. Okay. If federal government is not doing anything, our state government, can they not do anything? You are saying we have to look for federal government. Things are very hard. Some states are not paying 30,000 minimum wage. Some states won't get money. States should act fast. If government does nothing fast. Also, we should not look at the federal. State is very close to us. Have a nice time.
All right. Thank you. We'll try to take a couple of more calls before we go. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Kenny. And the issue of EPA. See, after Supreme thing with government, nobody is happy than government. It's only the government is not ready to deal with him. Well, nobody can. You see, that's the problem we are facing in this country. Some people are so much powerful than the law of the land. How can you be telling people to sit at home, forcing them to sit at home? Is this banana land, banana country? I think it's wrong.
All right. Thank you. 0705 5949. Maybe we'll do a couple of more calls before we go. But us and before we go, any final thoughts? But hold on with that. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, are you there? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kenny. John is calling back. The issue of
okay, quickly.
And the sit out. Yes, I disagree with Samuel Epa. Now, but the fact is that the causes of this is about Nnamdi Kanu. I think federal government need to assure the Igbo people that it's going to have assurance that the Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released. Immediately the cabinet is gathered together. I think this assurance needs to come from the federal government so that all these things we just we have federal government also have a role to play, not only to use force anymore. Let us stop the issue of using force for everything, for every approach. Let us have a dialogue together.
All right, Austin, your final thoughts before we go.
Yes, the states too had to come on board. I learned that some states are already making efforts to cushion the effect in terms of the upward review of their workers' salary. Some of them are even proposing modulated work schedule in the area of a civil servant does not have. Me?
Yeah, you just go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, a civil servant does not necessarily have to be at work one day of the week. They have to come like 3 days, other will step in. They have to do scheduled work. And some of them who can work remotely can also do their work from home. These are some of the efforts. Then some of them are also providing transit, mass transit. That can also help. That will make me to also appeal to the Oyo State government to do more in the area of mass transportation. They have rolled out some buses, but not in all the routes. A lot of buses to town to cushion the fare. The government might not be able to give everybody food. To provide some basic essentials like subsidizing transportation for them, like the government is currently doing. Of course, that will go a long way to help the people. So that's the truth. So whatever we have to do, we need to do it. But before I close, I will employ the federal government to be more serious with the issue of palliative. God bless Nigeria.
All right, God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much, Austin Udumo, for your time this morning. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's where we wrap things up on the Papers Review this morning. The Papers Review in Yoruba is up next. My name is Kenny Durutilu. Good morning.